There's a moment you probably recognize. You walk through the door after a long day, tired, maybe a little hollow, and before you've even set your bag down, they're already there. Tail moving like it's trying to keep up with something bigger than itself. Eyes on you, just you. Like you are the entire event. You didn't do anything extraordinary. You just came home. And yet to them, that was everything. We talk a lot about what dogs give us, the loyalty, the comfort, the way they seem to sense when something is wrong before we've admitted it ourselves. But we talk less about what they're quietly hoping for in return. Not demanding, never demanding, just hoping. Because here's the thing, nobody quite says out loud, your dog only gets one life, and you're in all of it. From the very first moment they look up at you uncertain, curious, completely open to the quietest final days when they just want to be near you. You are the constant, the whole world, wrapped up in one person. So what does love actually look like to them? Not the love we perform, not the elaborate gestures or the expensive gifts, but the love they feel, the kind that reaches them. By the end of this, you'll understand the 6 things your dog hopes from you across every stage of their life. And you might realize you've been giving some of them all along without even knowing it. They don't ask for much. That's the first thing to understand. No hidden agenda, no conditions attached, no score they're keeping. The emotional simplicity of a dog is not a limitation, it's almost a kind of wisdom. They have distilled what matters down to its most essential form. Just you. Most people, when they think about loving their dog well, think about the physical things. Food in the bowl, a walk every morning, a toy on the floor. And yes, those things matter. Of course they do. But if you've ever watched a dog ignore a brand new toy to simply sit beside you on the couch, you already know something important. What your dog needs most isn't what you give them, it's how you're there. And this becomes more important over time because your dog changes. The puppy who crashed into every room and chewed through every boundary becomes something different, quieter, more settled, more attuned to you in ways that are harder to name. And what they need from you changes with them. Love, in this sense, is not a fixed thing. It moves, it adapts, it has to grow with them. The first act of love is presence. In the beginning, when everything is noise and newness, and the world is enormous and slightly terrifying, your dog doesn't need you to be perfect. They don't need you to know all the right training techniques or have the ideal routine mapped out. What they need in those early weeks is simpler and more profound than any of that. They need to feel that you are there. Psychologists who study early attachment in humans talk about something called a secure base, the idea that a child can explore the world with confidence when they trust that someone steady is behind them. Dogs work the same way. A puppy's nervous system is still being shaped. Every new smell, every loud sound, every unfamiliar face, it all gets processed through one essential question. Is it safe? And the answer, for them, is you. You are their only reference point. When you are calm, they learn that the world can be calm. When you are present, they learn that presence means safety. This isn't a small thing. It becomes the foundation of everything. The second act is safety, and it's more nuanced than it sounds. As your dog grows, they stop needing protection from the world. They've learned enough by then. What they need now is something quieter. Your help understanding it. There's a difference. Protection is physical. Understanding is emotional. When your dog looks at you after something uncertain happens, another dog they weren't sure about, a sound they couldn't identify, they're not asking you to fix it. They're asking you to tell them, without words, whether to worry. Your body language is a language they've spent their whole life learning to read. The tension in your shoulders, the steadiness of your breath, the way you either freeze or stay soft. They are fluent in you in a way you may never fully realize. And what they hope in those moments is that what they see on your face is something that feels like ground. But here's the part nobody tells you. The brain, yours and theirs, is always looking for patterns, always scanning for what's predictable, what's reliable, what can be trusted. And this is where the third act of love becomes essential. Consistency, not excitement, not novelty, consistency. Your adult dog doesn't need every day to be an adventure. What they need is to know what's coming. The morning walk at roughly the same time, the familiar rhythm of your evenings, the way you always greet them when you come in. Routine, to a dog, is not monotony, it's comfort. It's the nervous system's way of saying, I don't have to brace for anything right now. Think about the people in your own life who made you feel most safe. Chances are it wasn't the most exciting ones. It was the most consistent ones. The ones who showed up the same way, time after time, until you stopped bracing and started relaxing. Dogs understand this instinctively. Stability is a form of love they can feel in their bones. The fourth act is play, and it matters more than it looks like it does. Life gets busy. It always does. And play can start to feel like the first thing to drop. But to your dog, play isn't recreation. It's not a bonus. It's the language of connection. When you get on the floor with them, when you throw the ball one more time, when you let yourself be a little ridiculous, what they experience is not entertainment. What they experience is, you chose me. Right now, with all your human complexity, you chose to be here with me. Don't stop playing with them, even when it feels small, especially then, because to them it is never small. The fifth act requires something different from you. It requires attention. As your dog ages and it happens faster than you expect, they start to communicate differently. The exuberance softens. The pace slows. They sleep more. They might not ask to play the way they used to. And it can be easy to interpret this as them needing less from you. But that's not quite right. What's changed isn't their need for connection. What's changed is how they're expressing it. They become quieter, more still, and they need you to notice. Not to fix anything, not to panic or overcompensate, just to see them, to sit with them a little longer, to recognize that a slower pace is not withdrawal, it's a different kind of presence. They've been paying attention to you their whole life. In the middle years, what they hope is that you'll pay attention back. This is where the relationship becomes something rare, because most relationships are louder at the beginning and quieter at the end, and we mistake the quiet for less. But in those quieter years, with a dog who has known you through everything, there is a depth that doesn't need volume to be real. The sixth act is the hardest one. Stay. At the end of their life, when the walks are shorter and the stairs are harder and the world has gotten smaller, they don't need anything new. No last adventures, no grand gestures. What they need is what they needed at the very beginning. You, just you, close, present, unhurried. Their life moves faster than yours. You've always known this. Somewhere in the back of your mind, even when you push the thought away, a dog's entire life fits inside a fraction of a human one, which means every year you had with them carried more weight than it seemed, and every moment you were simply there, just there, without distraction, without somewhere else to be, that was the whole gift. Will you be there, in the end, the same way they were always there for you? Because here's what has always been true. You are part of their life, but to them, you are their whole life. Not a chapter, not a season, everything. Love, in this light, isn't really about what you gave them, it's about what they felt from you. The food and the walks and the toys, those were care. But what shaped them, what they carried in their body and their nervous system and their sense of the world, that was presence. That was consistency. That was the feeling of being truly seen. A great dog owner doesn't just raise a dog, they show up. For the chaos of puppyhood and the steadiness of adulthood and the quiet tenderness of the final years. They change with their dog, the way the best relationships always require you to, because in the end, they never needed anything more than you, not more than you were, not a better version of you, just you, showing up the same way they did every single time.